Thank you for joining me today. It's Samantha from the Little Greenhouse. Not as bright and cheerful as yesterday, the weather, but overcast and dull. An ideal opportunity in my book to do the crafting. So this morning's coffee and cards is this little card here. It's a wonderful stamp set. As soon as I saw it in the catalogue, I knew it was one that was going to be added. Even though it's just one big stamp for this, I felt it could be used on a number of occasions. It could be a thank you card for the children to his teacher. It could be an office happy birthday card from the office to you or to whoever. And I just thought they were absolutely gorgeous, and I just love them all. This one's really feisty. So that's the first version. Good morning, Jenny. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you're well. I was just saying, we're just doing this card, and the stamp set is called From All of Us, and we've got this little group of characters here, and I've put them in a picture frame. So this is my first version, and then my second version is this one here. They're all quite colourful and cheerful characters. So what I'm going to do now is just show you how to create the card. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So let's bring in our details. So I have used this embossing folder to create the background. Of course, doesn't have to be this one. It can be whatever one you've got in your stock. This is the wonderful stamp set. It has this beautiful main stamp with all the characters I was just telling you about, and the two beautiful trees and some wonderful sentiments. Thank you. Happy birthday from all of us, and we think you're the best. Absolutely. Yes, I'm afraid, Jenny, colouring. And there is a little bit more than normal, but bear with me, that it is worth it in the end. So here we go. We are going to be using these framelits. This is the rectangular stitched framelits, and they're going to use that to create the picture frame. So I'm just going to put these straight so I can explain to you which framelits I've used. So out of this rectangular, so if this is number 1, I've used number 2. This is number 3. I have used number 4 of the rectangular framed stitched framelits. Oh my goodness, that's a mouthful even without a cup of coffee this morning. Okay, so I'm going to pop those aside. I am bringing in, now this is my Granny Apple Green card base. I have cut it as normal down to 8 by 5 3/4 and scored as usual at the 4 mark and burnished. I'll probably give that another little go in a second. I have taken a piece of card stock, the same colour, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, and I have run it through the embossing folder I have just shown you already. Okay, so that's how it will look on the card. I have taken two pieces of cardstock of this size, okay, and this is where the framelits come into play. So the larger one, cut out this part. Okay, so you'll need 2 pieces of cardstock that this frame cuts out. One of them will be used to do the stamping on, and then the second one will be created using the frame. And what I've done is I've taken the next framelit, I have layered it onto the cardstock and run it through the Big Shot, and it comes out looking like that. Okay, so that gives you the frame that will go over your picture, like so. And then I have used this little last rectangular frame that is from the set, and it has created this, which is where the sentiment's going to go. So let's start first of all with our big beautiful stamp set. Here he is. We're going to ink him up with Memento, black Memento ink, I say it's black now because I believe we've actually got a brown one in our annual catalogue that can be used. Now what I want to do is I'm going to move my characters far over to the right as possible so that the sentiment can sit up here without clouding their view. So let's put them over. I know his tail is slightly off, but believe me, it's what we need to do. So pop him down like so. And as I colour them in, I will introduce you to each of these characters. For some reason in my mind they are office staff, and this lady here is known as Gertie, and she is your feisty member of the staff. She always comes in to work in very bright, vibrant colours, and she knows everything and anything. Well, that's my thoughts anyway. And I'm sure we all know somebody like that. There we go. This is the Poppy Parade lens pen, and it is the dark that I'm actually using to colour in Gertie's outfit for today. She knew she was having a photograph taken today, so she just thought she'd wear her brightest and most cheerfulest of outfits. And because she is Gertie, she's got the eyeshadow to match. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm just going to give her some light crumb cake legs. There we go. I thought that as ostriches are normally known for sticking their heads in the ground, we'd make this one a slightly less run-of-the-mill ostrich. There she goes. Let's give her a light petal pink beak. There we go. And there she is, Gertie. Now, Gertie has a best friend, and her name is Betty, and she is sitting down here. There we go. Now, Betty is a very loyal friend, maybe bullied a bit by Gertie, but as I said, she's very loyal and would never ever be horrible to her best friend. But she knew, having photographed today, so she's painted her nails, and she's thrown caution to the wind and put on some green eyeshadow, and this is light granny apple green. There we go. And that will match her shell, and we're going to use the dark granny apple green for her shell. There we go. So obviously you can be a little bit more methodical with your colouring in. I'm obviously just doing it quick for demonstration purposes and quickness for the film. There we go. So that's Betty done. Right, and now we have, bringing in our two colour greys here, I have got dark smoky slate and light grey granite. Okay, and this is for Sydney. Sydney is the office clown, always getting into messes and tricks. It's story time in our house. Yes, it's something like that. Problem is, watching somebody colour can be quite boring, can't it? So I just thought if I added a little bit of, you know, interest to our story here, we might just pass the time. So this is Sydney. He is the office prankster. But never harmful, always likes a joke, always there with a quirky comment to cheer you up on a dull Thursday morning. Let's colour him in. There we go. So this is the light grey granite. Now, I'm sure monkeys are meant to be brown in colour, but Sydney is being a bit of a chameleon today and blending in with the background. There we go. Then our last character here is Graham, and he is your best friend to everybody. He's there with always, anything goes wrong, Graham is the person you can turn to. He's there with a wise word and a helpful hand. There's our Graham. There he is. He's a big, lovable member of the team. Add him there. There we are. So that's his tummy. And I'm going to add a dark crumb cake to Graham's outer layer. I just add him. There we go. There. As I say, watching somebody colour is not always the most stimulating thing to have to do, but it's almost done. There we go. I'm not quite sure. I haven't come up with an idea of whose birthday it is that this lovable crew are getting ready for their photograph for. There we go. And then just give Graham his, careful around his eyes. There we are. Perfect. And I'm going to change ends to make it a bit more easier to go around the edges. Obviously you can blend these in as much as you need to. Graham is not as well presented as the others, but that's because he was just a minute ago mending somebody's computer before he was ready for his photograph. So it was a little bit ruffled, but he made it. So let's give him some light petal pink for his nose area, or his face even, and his ears. There we go. And he can have a black nose. And this young man over here on the right that we haven't coloured in is Derek, and he is Graham's faithful sidekick. And they get on like a house on fire. There we go. And all we've got to do now is colour Derek's feathers. There, and our photograph is now complete. And there we go. So that's the team. So what will happen is that will fit over there like so for the photograph. Now before we do that, we want to add a bit of colour to our frame, which is going to bring in the Pear Pizzazz and the trees. But before we do that, I want to add one sentiment that says from all of us, and I'm going to put it in the bottom right hand corner here using the Early Espresso. Push that aside. So tap that gently, check on the thing. Yeah, happy with that. And place down. Okay, that can be cleaned off. And now we can bring in our trees using the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going for the big tree at the bottom right, sorry, bottom left and top right. Okay, that's going to go onto the picture like so. Alright, and then on the inside card, which is its normal 3.5 by 5 1/4, I'm going to add a big tree on the bottom of the page and then use the small tree to print out onto the top of the page like so. Okay, so that's that. And the only thing we now need to do is to stamp our sentiment onto our piece of cut out frame. And I'm using the, how's the new chamois? Oh, it's wonderful. Love it. Absolutely love it. So it's very, very good. So here we go. We add the happy, happy birthday to our sentiment here. Oh, no! Don't do that! Damn, and I didn't cut another piece out. Let me think, let me think, let me think, let me think. I know what I'm going to do with that. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to bring in the smaller tree. Grab my chamois, clean it off, there we go, and with my Early Espresso ink I am going to yeah, it's a chamois. I'm just going to add a bit of character to this there. So I feel that I've got away with that if I'm really lucky. And then we can pop those up there and wipe him down. Doesn't matter how clean or dirty the chamois is, it still squeaks when you wipe your stamp on it. You've got the sound effects, haven't you? Right, okay, we can now build our card. So the first thing first is I'm going to stick the inside layer into my card base. So taking my wet glue, I'm going to run it along the top of the card like so. Pop that onto there, and that will sit on there perfectly. There we go, that will come down, and now we can add our top layer. I'm just going to give the card another quick burnish, just so That's better. It lies flat. I'm going to add glue to the back of this. Run it down. Pop that over. And it pops. Wonderful. Hold that down for a couple of seconds. There we go. Lovely. Now we're going to add, before I do that actually, Gertie has just said that she'd like a bit of glitter on her ruffle. So we're just going to add a Wink of Stella glitter to Gertie. Give her a little bit of pizzazz. There we go. Wipe that off. Hopefully you can see. Can you see her glitter? Yeah, there, just there you can see the glitter on her dress. Perfect. Pop that. Oh, I do apologise. Just hit the camera. So I'm going to glue the outside of this frame. Just run a line of glue down there. Tiny line of glue down here and down here, like so. Bring in our picture. There we go. Stick the frame down like so. Okay, and then we can bring in the happy birthday, which we will put up here in the top right hand corner, but I'm actually going to pop dimensionals on that. So I'm going to do one in each corner, so that's bottom right, top left. It is when I turn it. No, it's bottom left, top right. Look at that. That's it there. Pop that over there. Then we can add that to our card. Now it's up to you whether you stick it flat or not. So let me show you the other two again. So the first one I did, which is the brown one, I actually stuck flat, but I raised the frame from the photograph using the strips of dimensionals. Okay, then on the second card I actually layered the, I do apologise, my dog has gone off. There's a van just pulled up and she's decided I need to know about it. So what I've done, going back to my picture, I have stuck the frame flat to the actual picture, and this time I have layered it with small dimensionals. You can see small dimensionals there to raise the picture up off the card. So this time I'm actually going to do it all flat. So I'm going to run the glue round here and on the back. Turn it over and we can pop her flat onto the card base like so. So there we are. That is our card for the happy birthday, or happy birthday from all of us. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the one we've just completed. Then we have the, she says, throwing it on the floor, the thanks from all of us. And then last but by no means least, we think you are the best. There we go, and I'll just bring in the card here. So I am back again tomorrow at a slightly different time, 3:30 for the Funky Fold Friday. As of next week, I am on holiday. Yay! But don't fear, there will be a Case It Tuesday, a 3D project on Wednesday, and a coffee and cards on Thursday and a funky fold Friday, but they will all be pre-recorded but will appear on my page when we would normally do the Facebook Live. So from Gertie, Betty, Graham, Sydney and the sidekick Derek, thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely day whatever you do, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Take care everybody, and thanks. Bye.